Howdy y'all. Today we're going to be looking at my Dodge Dakota. This is a 2001 Dodge Dakota with a 4.7 liter V8, and we are going to be looking at the camshaft position sensor. I'm pretty sure it's bad, and we'll go over why in just a second. This sensor, what this sensor does is it gathers data of where the camshaft is at and sends it to the ECM, the engine control module, which is the computer that runs the spark and fuel of the truck. And it sends the information of where the camshafts and the valves are so that the computer can time the fuel delivery and the spark delivery at the correct time to make the truck run right. And my truck, it likes to have trouble starting sometimes. It'll crank for about 3 seconds and then it'll fire, which is a little strange because it's not the fuel. Even if you prime it, the fuel pump a whole bunch, it'll still do that. So that makes me question the camshaft position sensor. And also, I'll be driving and randomly it'll just stall. And it has weird timing with the throttle. It feels less powerful than it used to. So I'm pretty sure the sensor's bad. So let's take a look on how to replace that. This is the new cam sensor. That's what they look like. And these sensors, at least on these Dakotas, or any engine with any Dodge 4.7 liter V8, that's what this is. If you go to the passenger side of the engine, just under the airbox, just down in there, see if I can get some light on that for you. There's the sensor right there. And so most of the time the easiest way to do that, get to it, is take the airbox off, which is just a couple bolts. And then there's one 10mm bolt holding that cam sensor on. It's just right there. Just one bolt. But instead of having to remove the airbox, for me, I just replaced the clutch and all new clutch components on this truck. And I still haven't installed the wheel wells or inner fenders, whatever you want to call them. And if you look, right there's that sensor. There's that 10mm bolt right there. All you have to do, undo that one bolt, undo that electrical connection, and pop that old sensor out and pop in the new one. While we're down here, let's talk about the crank position sensor. On these trucks there's also a crankshaft position sensor, and it can be found right there. And it's pretty easy to get to from underneath the truck. It's just one bolt also. Bolt right there, and it pulls out, and new one goes in. You could probably get to this sensor from underneath the truck as well. You just have to reach up. So that's one way to do it. For me, I'll just reach through here without the fender liner in the way. One thing you need to remember, disconnect negative battery terminal. Let's do that right now. Whenever dealing with the electrical components or any electrical anything, you need to disconnect the negative battery terminal. And that way you don't short out the system or do anything weird when changing out sensors and stuff. So just 10mm bolt on this, loosen that up, push it out of the way for now, and let's go take care of that sensor. Like I said before, 10mm bolt, Undo that. Take out the bolt. Easy enough. And then all we have left is this electrical connection. Undo that. Alright, so the electrical connection is a little tough, but when it's all plugged in, there's a little spot right there you can stick a screwdriver and push. So push in those tabs, and at the same time there's a little hole you can pry with a screwdriver. I'll pop it out. So that worked for me, should work for you. So there's the old sensor, and here's the new one. You want to make sure that they're the same size, same length, that'll work. And if you look, there's a little O-ring there, a little gasket. Make sure that came out, because if that gasket stays in there and you put in the new one, you're going to have a serious oil leak and an issue. Also, not a bad idea to run some oil around that O-ring just so it doesn't stick and so it'll seal. So there's that. Let's put in the new one. Okay, the install is just opposite as the take part removal. So I put a little bit of oil on that O-ring so it'll sit right and seal. If I can get you guys up in there where you can see. So, little push. Grab your 10mm bolt. Thread him in. Your electrical connection. Plug that in. You'll hear it click. We'll tighten that down. Just snug it down, and you'll be good to go. Pretty easy. The sensor itself was about 30 bucks. Had it in stock. It shouldn't be that big of a problem for you. There you go. We'll start it up and see how she does. Hook the battery connector back together. Tighten that down. Just snug her up. Make sure it's good. Let's start the truck and see what happens. Started good. Let's go make sure it's not leaking oil out of that spot. It looks good. It sounds happy. Alrighty. There you guys go. There's the camshaft position sensor replacement. 2001 Dodge Dakota. any Dodge 4.7 liter V8 should work on. I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe, help me out some, so I can keep doing good stuff for you guys. See y'all next time. Okay y'all, quick update. I've been driving the truck around for a bit now, like half an hour in all sorts of conditions, and before I replaced the sensor, I had a check engine light on, and now it's gone and it stayed off, so that's really promising also. Truck seems to be running great, doing good.